Key point 1. Making a covenant with the truth. We arrive into this world with unique identities. This indisputable fact, even if we are blind to it at first, prepares us for a journey of self-discovery full of surprises. Throughout our lives, we are continually shaped and reshaped, from our first steps, which are led by pure, unadulterated instinct, to the point where every convention and expectation becomes an internal mishmash within us. However, there are challenges on this journey. As we get older, we find ourselves caught in a labyrinth of views and ideas frequently imposed on us by the outside world that steer us away from our actual selves. For instance, we frequently find that societal expectations push us to trade our authenticity for approval. Imagine for a moment that there was a way to untie this knot. What if we could take back the narrative, find our perspective again, and learn to live filled with a fresh sense of purpose and self-love? We are committed to ourselves when we fight for freedom, authenticity, and beauty because it forces us to examine, unlearn, and eventually find our true selves again. Spend time alone each day to reflect on your values and goals. Let's explore Don Miguel Ruiz's fascinating agreements, beliefs, and internal commitments we can make with ourselves based on the ancient wisdom of the Toltecs. The Toltecs were a culture of skilled warriors and artisans who inhabited what is now central Mexico, known for their advanced societal and spiritual practices. Are you curious? Hang tight. Key point 2. Renouncing symbolism. You undoubtedly recall that your childhood personality differs significantly from your current one. That's because, despite others' opinions, you were the most authentic version of yourself at that time. As you age, society instills its values and norms, shaping your thoughts and expectations. Miguel Ruiz claims that it is essentially the same as domesticating a pet. You acquire the skill of pleasing people to get rewards and stay out of trouble. Society imposes a reality built on covenants and symbolism, creating a web of beliefs that control your life. Relationships with others instruct you on how to behave and view the world. You've been trained to speak and think in symbols, see the world through a particular lens, and assign meanings to various objects. But as you become proficient with these symbols, they rule you. Over time, we attach our sense of self-worth to what other people think of us. We try to conform to the stereotype that society has created, searching for approval to feel loved. Additionally, we constantly criticize ourselves, losing sight of the purity and unrestricted nature of our early years, when we were aware of our unique qualities. This process makes us yearn for who we truly are and for what we have lost in the process of domestication. Learn to decline requests that conflict with your values. As time passes, our old and new beliefs collide. We start to question what is true and false amid the maze of symbols we have internalized. Before long, we understand that our knowledge is merely a framework created to make sense of the outside world. Every sentence you write, word you speak, and symbol you use is a miniature work of art that helps you comprehend the world and express yourself. This perception can be a complete distortion, a lie you choose to believe, or a faithful reflection of the truth. However, consciousness can release you from the bonds of domestication, enabling you to pursue new opportunities and lead a genuine life. The first agreement, be impeccable with your words, is a helpful reminder to use words wisely and refrain from turning them against others and ourselves. Did you know? According to a 2021 Psychology Today article, the pressure to present a curated version of ourselves on social media can conflict with authenticity. Key point 3. Calm your mind. In our journey toward understanding ourselves better, the second agreement asserts that every mind is a universe unto itself. Don't take anything personally. This point essentially means we should respect others' narratives and perspectives and ensure that they respect ours in return. However, that doesn't mean we have to agree with them or allow them to affect how we see ourselves. After all, we are all unique, and our individual experiences and beliefs shape our perceptions. As such, our identity is not accurately reflected in the opinions of others. True freedom, founded on accepting who we are, can only be attained by releasing ourselves from the burden of other people's expectations and focusing on ourselves. In return, you should not push your own expectations onto others and always be mindful of your words. If you feel offended by something external, the pain is not due to the fact itself, but to your assessment of it. Marcus Aurelius. It can be difficult to learn to live from a place of authenticity and self-worth, but in the end, it comes from learning not to take anything others say to heart. This approach makes you more resilient to criticism and judgment from others around you. Remember that everyone is fighting their own battles, and you shouldn't let other people's opinions dictate how you live your life. It's possible that you may not accurately interpret their words from the beginning, therefore causing you to feel negatively about something not said in reality. By keeping this in mind, you can start living a peaceful, happy, enlightened life and release yourself from needless pain and suffering. Choose media that uplifts and reflects your values. Key point 4. Don't assume and do your best. Now let's go over the final 2 traditional agreements and learn how they can help us improve our lives. The third agreement, don't make assumptions, raises concerns about our tendency to invent narratives out of thin air. You've probably experienced this. You're extremely anxious before a job interview and your mind keeps running through scenarios in which everything goes horribly wrong. In reality, everything goes smoothly during the interview, and you get hired on the spot. Put simply, it is best to avoid assumptions as they only cause tension and upset that lead to nothing. You may ask yourself, how can I get rid of my speculative tendencies? It all comes down to raising your awareness and challenging your preconceived notions. Of course, you must practice and commit to see results. You're effectively rewiring your mindset, and this takes time. Recognizing that the best version of yourself constantly changes is possible with the fourth agreement. Always do your best. Thus, whatever the situation, just give it your all and do the best you can. Then you won't experience regret or unjust self-criticism because you look back and wish you'd done or said something differently. If you do the best you can, the moment is gone and you can move forward. Recognize and celebrate moments when you successfully uphold your authenticity. Additionally, it's important to change how you see the world and disprove the limiting ideas that you have gathered as mementos of your existence. At first, you may not be aware of these unwanted souvenirs, but self-reflection will give you the answers you seek. Ultimately, by embracing these agreements wholeheartedly, you will quickly discover that you can change your reality from one of conflict and boundaries to total authenticity and freedom. Key point 5. Skepticism above all else. At this point, you are undoubtedly anticipating the fifth agreement. Well, it doesn't disappoint. The fifth agreement instructs us to question everything we hear while remaining open to new ideas. Be skeptical, but learn to listen. After all, the symbols we see all around us are mental constructs and not always the truth. But if we learn to listen closely, we can figure out what these symbolic representations mean and whether they're true or false. Being skeptical confers mastery because you use the power of doubt to discern the truth. Don Miguel Ruiz. Don Jose Ruiz. This agreement requires a greater comprehension of human nature and how our beliefs influence our view of the world. All arguments are influenced by the perspectives of those who make them, so you must listen without passing judgment. If you don't agree with someone, that's okay, but you must listen carefully to the end to ultimately decide whether or not their point is valid in your mind. Maybe their idea will change your viewpoint, or maybe not. Use mindfulness to stay connected to your current feelings and convictions. However, at some point, you must learn to confront the misconceptions ingrained in you since childhood. It can be a difficult process, but it's a necessary one. Even if our parents, teachers, and the people in our social environments don't always have the right answers, we learn as kids to believe whatever they say. It's second nature. Questioning these ideas will allow you to develop your own view of the world and break free from preconceived social norms and expectations. Key point 6. The person you want to become. Have you ever considered your ideal role as a messenger? What kind of influence do you hope to have on society? Answering this might be challenging if you're surrounded by people who only wear masks or if conformity is valued more highly than honesty in your social circle. While it is good to positively impact others, how can you become someone people look up to and follow if you don't have control over yourself? You can do this by learning to observe your life, breaking free from the bonds of the past, and separating yourself from the lies you have built for yourself or your loved ones. It goes without saying that you'll need patience and deep reflection. One of the hardest things you will ever have to do is to face your deeply held beliefs. 3 languages influence people's perspectives from a Toltec perspective and may come up in your search for authenticity. They are: gossip. Everyone knows how to gossip. In this language, messages are distorted and everything is based on lies. It is a type of communication in which you seek to confront others about the daily problems you face. Warrior. This language conveys the desire to oppose the symbols that have shaped your life. It is useful to find your true purpose without anyone stopping you from achieving it. Truth. This paradigm shift will free you from the bonds of ego and help you establish a full connection with your true self. With this reflective and speech-transforming process, you will become a messenger of truths beyond words. Every encounter will allow you to consider the message you convey to the world. The last word belongs to you. Will you continue to promote old-fashioned notions of fear and division, or will you be a messenger of love and authenticity? Express yourself through art to explore and affirm your identity. Conclusion. As we transition from free-spirited, innocent children to adults molded by societal norms and expectations, we often grapple with the challenge of reconciling our authentic selves with the roles and behaviors society imposes upon us. Embracing the complexities of adulthood presents a unique opportunity to forge a path that honors our inner child while skillfully navigating societal pressures. This journey allows us to blend wisdom with wonder, ensuring that as we grow, we remain true to ourselves and inspire others to do the same. By steadfastly holding on to our core values and dreams, we can build lives that not only meet societal standards, but also brim with joy and fulfillment. Try this. Choose your words carefully. Treat yourself as you treat the people you care for and love the most. Take what you are told with skepticism. Some people assert things without confirming their sources. Don't let others take advantage of or manipulate you. Curate your circle. Intentionally choose to spend time with people who uplift and encourage your true self.